League, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a nice video on how to salvage a top 4 in a game that's looking quite grim. So I'm actually going to be taking this footage from a VOD analysis, and this is actually a game that I coached with one of my students. So getting started, we had a full carousel start with spatulas, and although it is Star Cluster, we ended up taking the Ziggs, which is a really good starting unit. Ziggs helps grind down the front lines, and he goes really well with the Rebel early game buff. So getting into it, I just want to preface that me and my students sort of went into this game knowing we were forcing a comp. So we wanted to force Brawler Blaster here. Brawler Blaster was definitely one of the top comps that really helps people climb, and I sort of wanted to show him that even when you're contested, it's really possible to just force this comp and gain LP quite easily. So yeah, getting into it, let's see what his early game was looking like. We had nice little items here, right? We had the Ionic Spark. We had Ionic Spark, which is really nice early on because it helps out Ziggs. And the reasoning behind this is because it reduces everybody else's MR, so Ziggs really gets the full damage value from it because he's entirely AP. So he really grinds through those front lines, and especially with the Rebel buff, does a ton of damage. Now, like I said, we're looking for Brawler Blasters. So Brawler Blaster almost always starts with a Rebel opening. We have the Blasters on the side here, and we're looking to potentially pivot with the Kog'Maw in early, maybe a red buff, maybe something else, but we're going to get the Blasters in potentially with Kog'Maw, and then the Battle Cast with Alawi, and Brawler with Malphite. So a really strong looking board that we have going here, and it's looking to be a really good game actually. Fast forwarding a bit, we actually have the carousel coming up here. Oops. And in the carousel, we were actually given a Lucian here. Now, the reasoning behind this is we had Zed as well that we could have chose from, but picking Lucian was actually much better. And the reasoning behind picking Lucian is because he synergizes so well with the Blasters. So picking Lucian here will actually allow us to win streak much better than picking a Rebel Zed with the Giant's Belt build. So yeah, that is the reasoning behind that. Looking into it a bit more, that was definitely the correct choice. Now going into it, we have we have Krugs coming up, and this is where a really big decision needed to happen, but we failed to execute it. So I pointed out to my student that you always want to look for making 30 gold at Krugs. Reasoning behind this is because the earlier you make those checkpoints of 30, 40, 20 gold, whatever, it allows you to reach that 50 gold cap much sooner. It's really like a snowball effect. So because of this, right, we got a heavy gold drop from our Krugs, and with this, right, we have Karma, Zed, Kog'Maw, and Poppy. These can all be sold to make 30. Now, if we did this, we would be much closer to our goal of 50 gold, and we would probably hit level 6 almost near the time of 3-1. Of 3-5. 3-1 is next round. But anyways, yeah. The reasoning behind that is because the closer you can get to 50 gold with this comp, the closer you can potentially level faster and get the Gnar and Jinx onto the board quite soon. And missing this was actually a pretty big error. So note for yourself, guys, really make sure to hit those econs like when you can. It's super important. So yeah, moving on, we're going to hit the carousel here, and something really interesting happens at the carousel. So if we take a look, we actually have a Jinx with Glove on carousel. This is incredibly generous for us, because obviously we definitely want that running Brawler Blaster. Jinx is the core carry, and Glove is a really good item to have on a Blaster. So if we get this here, it'd be quite lucky, and we actually end up getting it, because I guess nobody else in the lobby was really contesting us. So we end up getting the Jinx here, and this is where things are starting to look really good, right? We level to 6, we put in the Demolitionist, and we end up swapping out Lucian for Jinx. The reasoning behind we didn't swap out Ezreal instead is that although Lucian is level 2, Ezreal will actually help us a lot more with the value that he has from his skill being the EMP that increases AoE champions mana costs. Super important, but also the Blitz here. We have Chrono in. Chrono is much more valuable than a level 2 Lucian with no synergies. So that is the reason we take out the Lucian instead of the Ezreal. So yeah, going into it a bit more, this is where things start getting a bit questionable. So next round, we're going to see right here that we have a lot of gold, and we're sitting on 68 gold. Our only focus right now is should be leveling above 50 gold and making sure that we get to level 7 as quick as possible, right? And the reasoning behind that is because at level 7, your odds of getting a 4 cost greatly increase, and you know, naturaling that potential Gnar for the 4th brawler, and potentially naturaling a Fizz to really swap out the Rumble and help Jinx get those resets is really, really important in this comp. But sadly, we don't end up doing that. We actually end up leveling aggressively here, which I told my student not to do. The reasoning is because we level aggressively, we screw over our econ, and because of this, we're not going to be able to roll down at that 4-3 interval like everybody else, right? So now we hit the Krugs here, we naturaled a really nice Gnar, and things are looking really good for us. We have 4-1, you know, things are looking great, we're winning, we're winning, we're winning, and this is where it gets bad. Now here it looks good, right? We have 4-3, we have Jinx with almost perfect items, we have 4 Brawlers in, which is such a huge buff, especially with the level 1 Gnar. We have the Rebel buff in, so Jinx is definitely popping off. Now the question is, how can this game possibly go wrong, guys? Well, the reasoning behind it is this. 4-3 is a monumental stage. It is the stage everybody rolls down their gold from 50 gold almost to 0 to try to 2-star those 4 cost units that they're relying on. They're trying to 2-star the Rivens, the Jinxes, all those 4 costs that basically are the core to their comps. So everybody's going to be spiking quite hard. And although not everybody in this lobby is quite at the level of knowledge to understand that concept, some people are, and they're really going to punish us for it. So going through, everybody is looking quite nice. We end up winning that round, and now we're given an almost full bow carousel, so things are looking even better. We have a almost guaranteed Giant Slayer here for Jinx, and now we have a level 8 put in, but we don't roll down yet. Reasoning behind this is because if we roll down at this interval, we wouldn't be rolling down at the correct interval, which is after wolves. Intervals are very important because they're the way you can maximize getting the most out of your gold and lessening the damage that it does to your econ for further in the game. I'll make a video sometime in the future about correct intervals in TFT, so if you want to see one of those videos, please drop a like, and yeah, I'll look forward to it. So looking into this, right, we're looking quite strong. Although we're taking a bit of a loss here because that guy's very strong, it's really not a bad loss at all. We're still sitting at 3rd in the lobby by 4-6. Now, if we fast forward here and we look at wolves, this is where things are really going to be troublesome because we have the wolves here and we have next round to level all the way down all this gold to try to hit Jinx too. Now, the reasoning behind why this is bad is because everybody else is also going to be rolling down at this stage, meaning that everybody who rolled down at 4-3, if they miss their 4 cost, they're going to be waiting this round, and this round, waiting, and then here they're finally going to roll down again. And the chances that they hit those units are very, very likely. And although we would like to also have rolled down there and guaranteed to get a Jinx too, sadly that is not happening. And because everybody else is really going to be spiking now, we are much further behind. We're rolling down for the first time, and although look at all these units we're hitting, there's going to be one outlier in all this, and it's that we didn't hit Jinx. We rolled down 68 gold or more, and we still have a Jinx 1. Now at this point of the game, my student is freaking out because he can't really believe that we're not hitting. We have all these items on the bench, and he's so focused on all the stuff that's going on the bench here, like the characters we'll never use here, and he can't really pick which items to put on who, and he's totally confused. Now guys, this happens to everybody. Rolling down and not being prepared to micromanage your units on the bench is like a really big problem. Now with correct items, we might have even been able to save more HP. Although we end up winning this round because Jinx has great items, having even better items on our front line or our back line and making sure we slam all the items here is incredibly important. So look, we're rolling down again, and we can't find Jinx. We're finding Fizz, we're finding 2A Souls, Gnar, Jhin. We can't find the Jinx. And this is where it starts getting really bad. Guys, look, our HP's at 33 and we're slowly dropping. Now looking through the lobby, almost everybody's cleaning us. Everybody's super strong at this point. And at this point, we're at 16 health. It is looking very grim, guys. Look, it's 5-3, 16 health, and we have 1 Jinx. Now, let me show you guys how to change this into a winning scenario. Now, going through here, we have the Jinx with Bramble Vest. And although it seems bad to take a Jinx with Bramble Vest, because we have full items on her, if we get another Jinx, it'll end up popping off and going on the bench. So we take the Jinx and we pray. Now at this point, we need to roll down every single turn to 0 gold, because any bad loss could potentially spell a 6th place for us. Only 16 HP and getting wiped could potentially lose us the game. So I tell him to roll down almost every turn here to try to find the Jinx. We find the Fizz, we don't need that. We're looking, and finally we hit it, guys. We hit it. We hit our first Jinx in the shop. Our first Jinx the entire game at 5-6. And why? Because we didn't roll down correctly. We missed econ. We screwed up our economy, and we weren't able to roll down twice at the right spots. And that's when it becomes really troublesome. Now, finally, we hit the Jinx, right? And our entire board is 2-starred. So we're looking very strong now. And notice how he's going to start slamming items here. It's because he's finally not confused anymore. He knows what's going on, and everything is feeling a lot better for him. So this is where things start looking good. Now, because we have this level 2 Jinx, we absolutely crush this guy, and it's not even close. I believe that, yeah, it's not even close, guys. Just take a look at this. So looking in, it's a top 5 scenario now, and if we look at the leaderboard, 26 HP, 29, 31, 61, this is looking bad. And this is where very important decisions come in. Now, do you roll down and try to get your A soul to level 2 at level 8 and just give up on going level 9? Or do you just wait it out, try your luck, and go level 9 here? Now, I know most of you are saying I should just roll down all my gold each turn and try to hit this A soul, because A soul 2 is really big for this team. And I can tell you that is false. What you need to do is completely focus on positioning here. Positioning will win you almost all these rounds. You need to know the strength of your board and the strength of everybody else's. And I told my student, your board is much stronger than everybody else's with good positioning. So that's exactly what we aim to do here. So I tell him, don't buy any of the characters in shop. We're going level 9, and let's be smart about it. We're going to position properly for each person here, and watch what happens. Great positioning. That's a round 1, and now we're looking in 4th place. Now we're looking at 3rd place. Lobby's suddenly looking a bit better. I tell him, don't worry about anybody in shop, just focus on positioning. You're looking for scouting, you're looking at all the possible people you're facing, and lucky enough, we position correctly, and we end up sadly, actually, yes, this is what happens. So because even though we position correctly, we end up losing, but because we position correctly, we only lose by a little bit. So yeah, that's a really good spot for us to be in, because now we're in 4th, we guaranteed a top 4, and anything above here is just a bonus win. So yeah, let's look into what happens. We win this again, strong board, right? So we're winning this every time, and now we make it to carousel. Carousel, we take the double shroud to really screw over everybody else in the lobby, and this is where the decision finally comes in. Because we econ correctly, we can go level 9. We can go level 9 because we decided not to roll down our gold for the A Soul 2, but instead save our gold and realize that our position is strong and we need to focus on scouting and positioning our units correctly. And because of that, we end up getting a free level 9, where we can, add in obviously a good unit. We throw an Echo here for Infiltrator, and yeah, this is definitely where things start looking really nice for us. We salvaged a really good top 3, and even with good positioning here, we actually could have gotten a top 2. The reasoning behind this is because we left the Jinx exposed here, but regardless, we really took ourselves from a terrible position to a top 3, and all it took was just a bit of smart econing. And guys, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. You just need a bit of smart econing and a bit of decision making in those key points of the game. And at the end of the day, that's what separates people from gold, silver to diamond and master. So guys, if you like the video, please feel free to leave a thumbs up and, you know, help us out. Subscribe if anything, you know, helped you gain some LP. And if any of you want some coaching, some one-on-one hands-on coaching, please feel free to hit Learn to Play League. You can have coaches like me and some of my other friends here, you know, giving high-level advice to you guys and bringing your game to the next level. So yeah, this is Coach Kush signing off. Peace, guys.